To date, women's right to vote is the only right they have that is fully protected by the U.S. Constitution. Let's talk about the ERA.
Equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged on account of sex.
Women's rights are...
In recent news, the Equal Rights Amendment has taken the United States by storm. The amendment, commonly referred to as the ERA, was originally introduced in 1923 by civil rights activist Alice Paul. It was created to address wording in the U.S. Constitution that doesn't explicitly guarantee that the rights it protects are held equally by all citizens.
Did you just use a term that excludes women from an occupation?
Okay, let's back up.
However, there were some who didn't agree with the ERA. Phyllis Schlafly lobbied heavily against the ERA in the 70s. The successful female attorney firmly believed that men and women were fundamentally different and had different roles in society. You know.
Phew! What a day!
Oh, great, you're home. Now you can help me with the baby.
And this created opposition against the ERA amongst others who shared the similar beliefs. Due to this opposition and effective lobbying, it took 50 years for Congress to finally pass the ERA in 1972. But it came with a catch. Congress required that 3/4 of the states, or 38 states, must ratify the ERA by adding it to their own state constitutions for it to become part of the U.S. Constitution. And all of this had to be done by March 1979. But in 1979, only 35 states had ratified the ERA, so Congress extended the original deadline to June 30th, 1982. And since I'm here telling you about the non-ratified ERA, that deadline wasn't met either.
We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close.
Okay, so now I'm sure you're thinking, Lexi, okay, the failure to change an issue and a hypocritical attorney. Why am I watching A View from the U about Michael Cohen? You're not. You see, before the ERA, everyone just implied that when the Constitution says man or men, it was referring to all. This created a lot of issue and still happens today. For example, there is nothing in the Constitution that addresses the issue of legal distinctions between men and women when it comes to divorce, property, and/or employment. Even though sex is a protected class under Title VII, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, this is a federal mandate and can technically be changed, whereas protections stated in the U.S. Constitution are much more difficult to change, which is why the ERA is so important. If the ERA was ratified, the following would be codified into law. Equal protection from discrimination for all people regardless of sex. Set a clear federal judiciary standard for deciding cases of sex discrimination. Provide a strong legal defense against a rollback of women's rights. And bring the US up to date with many other countries who already affirm legal gender equality. This is huge, but the ERA could also potentially play a big role in expanding protections for the trans and non-binary individuals across the nation. The ERA stalled for nearly 4 decades before picking up steam again. This was attributed to the Me Too movement and then Nevada ratifying the ERA in 2017, bringing it back into the national spotlight for the first time in decades. Then, in 2018, Illinois followed in Nevada's footsteps and ratified it as well, meaning only one more state was needed to ratify the ERA.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
And until recently, the 3 states that were being considered as the next state to possibly pass the ERA were Virginia, Arizona, and Utah. And even here at the University of Utah, we had some influence. But wait. I have 2 close friends that were highly involved in this process, and I want them to tell you about it. Kwok, Sarah?
Hi, I'm Kwok.
And I'm Sierra.
We co-authored a joint resolution for the ERA.
With rumors of the ERA being sponsored in the 2020 legislative session, ASU decided to take an official stance on the ERA. And with the University of Utah being an all-encompassing and accepting community, ASU wanted to further support efforts of reestablishing equality on campus and in Utah.
In December of 2019, ASU passed a joint resolution supporting the ERA and urging the Utah State Legislature to ratify the ERA to the Utah Constitution in the 2020 legislative session. Another goal of the project was to increase awareness of the ERA and gender equality on campus. Whether your political preference leans towards the right,
The left,
Or if you're in the middle.
we can all agree on the fundamental idea that
That equality is for all.